Okay, so let's start it over again. Ready? We're gonna go 5, 7, 2. So it's 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's a little close for my eyes, but we muddled through it. It's important to remember that I'm not trying to teach everything, but I want to back up what we're teaching with the with theory. So we can't always play the best other things sometimes. For instance, guitar theory and how much what's the distance between the strings and how much that guitar pay but worth. But really, there is an adjustment for that. There's like a screw on every guitar that you can bend the neck down and get those strings closer. So when you put the capo on, it doesn't stretch those strings. So now we have to talk about the E box is the only exception to this rule. Remember how to get the cutout now. You start in a cage, say the G cage. Okay, so we're in the G cage. The bottom, when you play a G, the bottom open string, the E becomes the sixth, right? So the diatonic scale fragment, or the G string shape, is 6, 7 root. Starting on that 6, okay, that is the sixth, or the Aeolian. So that's going to be an A minor in the key of C, or whatever key you're in the key of G. It'd be a E minor, but it's still the sixth, the root, and the 3. Okay, so that's our hint. So the G string is going to be the root and the cutout, and the B string is going to be the third, the 3, or 3, 4, 5 is going to be your C. So remember, back here we got 6. We're going to go 6 root 3, right? 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 3, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 root 3. So that's your minor, your A minor in the key of C. Okay, 6 root 3. So that, now what are the other strings? That's what I ask myself, but it's so important just to know that this is how to do the cutouts. You simply make a triad off of the first quality. The third is always minor, so it's going to be here, the root here. If you're over here on 3 here, the third is always minor. It's going to be 3, 5, 7. So this is your bass string. Is going to be the first number in this easy chord. You just make a chord starting from whatever modal scale member you're on, scale tone chord, and you have, that's what they used to call them, and then you have the G string cut out is the middle number, and the B string. Now let's talk about the only exception to this rule is the Locrian. Why is that? So let's go up to the fretboard to find out why that is. So the system works starting on a 7. Here's your Locrian box, right? Here's your Locrian box. We start on the 7. Now play away is just like that, right? Something like that. I think I went into the next string shape there. But I certainly have an S4E. Okay, then we can do a short A right there. So if you had it barred, if you want to do the barred E, it's different. It's not the same. Okay? Because the way that augmented fourth, pans out. So to follow the rule, the way that we have the Locrian box, remember this is the only box that's the exception to the easy chord rule. Look at this, the 7, the cutout is 2, and the cut in is 4. Hey, that's our Locrian triad. But if we want to use this as if there was a fret nut here, this is the only exception to the rule. If that's your fret nut and you want to start with that, let's say your low E, you want to make that the 7th, so you'd be in the key of F, right? Then we can't get that 4 at all. So that's the only note we can't get in the whole system. So what we're going to do is play up to the G string and take the whole string shape there, and then take a short A there. And this is only with the Locrian box. You're going to have the whole D string there. You're not going over for this, so we don't have a cutout with the capo or the fret nut 7 there. If you're playing it just up there on the neck where you've got plenty of fretboard and you can get that 4 up there, then the rule still holds. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. Remember, 7, 2, 4. Locrian triad. 7, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we had our 4 here. So it's, let's see, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. And that's where our 5, 6. So in actuality, I'm going to show you. I got a little confused. It's insanity doing the same thing over and over again. So down here on the chart, okay, we have a little footnote, C note below. So here's our, it's going to be a B half diminished 6, 7, 2, 5. That's all. If you want to play it, from the fret nut, okay, so if your fret nut is here, then you're making your E the 7th. You want to play a Locrian scale with the Locrian on the fret nut as a dot note, let's say. Then you're not going to have a cutout. Alright, so right here, the open cutout E7 cage. Now, when I say E7, I don't mean this. Okay, I mean E being the 7th of the key of C. E in the E string shape. Okay, the E string shape 7 root 2. Okay, that's what we mean about the E string shape. So here's the E string shape root 2, 3. Here's the E string shape 7, 7 root 2. Okay, we're going to not have a cutout. It says right here, note, open capo E7. We just talked about that. Cage has no cutout and has a short A string shape on the B string. So that's the only exception. You don't. That's it. Just in the Locrian box. Okay, so if there's no cutout, that's the arrows are pointing up for that. So that means this note pertains to this line in the box.